This fruit is secretly spiking hormones and making polycystic ovary syndrome worse. Are you exhausted from doing everything right? From meticulously planning your meals? And from forcing yourself to exercise even when you feel drained, only to find your polycystic ovary syndrome symptoms staring back at you in the mirror? Are you tired of feeling betrayed by your own body, wondering why the scale won't budge, why your skin still breaks out, or why that exhausting fatigue settles into your bones every afternoon? It's a profound kind of frustration, isn't it? You eat the healthy foods, you choose the fruit salad over the dessert, you drink the green smoothies, and yet the hormonal chaos seems to continue. You feel confused, isolated, and maybe even a little angry, wondering what you're missing. The good news is that the answer isn't about more restriction or harder workouts. The ancient wisdom found in Buddhist practices, a wisdom centered on balance, mindfulness, and understanding the true nature of our bodies, offers a different path. It teaches us that healing isn't just about what we eat, but how and why we eat, and how our inner state of being directly impacts our physical health. In today's video, we are going to dive deep into a truth that might shock you, revealing a specific category of healthy fruit that might be secretly spiking your hormones and making your polycystic ovary syndrome symptoms significantly worse. We will explore why this happens through the lens of compassionate awareness, moving beyond simple diet rules into a space of profound self-understanding. So stick around, because you don't want to miss these life-changing insights that connect the dots between your plate, your mind, and your hormonal well-being. Before we get started, I'd love to know where you're joining me from today. Drop a comment below and feel free to ask any questions you have as we go through this journey together. This is a shared space, a community. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a health-boosting tip from Sacred Women's Health. First, let's talk about the deep, agonizing confusion that comes with this condition. Let's create a space of absolute honesty here. Living with polycystic ovary syndrome often feels like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces constantly change. You are told to eat healthy, but what does that truly mean when your body seems to rebel against the very things that are supposed to nourish it? This is where the core of the suffering lies, not just in the symptoms themselves, but in the feeling of being at war with your own biology. You might experience that profound exhaustion, the kind that sleep doesn't fix, or the anxiety that hums just beneath the surface, a constant static of hormonal imbalance. Perhaps it's the frustration of irregular cycles, the unwanted hair growth, or the hair thinning on your head. All physical manifestations that make you feel like a stranger in your own skin. And the most painful part? You are often told, directly or indirectly, that it's somehow your fault. That you just need to try harder, lose weight, or be more disciplined. This is simply not true. It is not your fault. You are not failing. Your body is not broken. It is reacting in a state of high sensitivity to a world and a lifestyle that are profoundly out of balance. Thousands, millions of women are walking this exact same path with you, feeling this same confusion and this same pain. You are not alone in this. What you are experiencing is a complex interplay of genetics, environment, and stress, and it requires a solution that is just as deep and compassionate. It requires us to look not just at the food, but at the root of the imbalance, which ancient Buddhist wisdom identifies as a disconnect between our mind and our body. We must move away from the mindset of fighting polycystic ovary syndrome and into a mindset of listening to it. Your symptoms are not your enemy. They are messengers, signals from a body that is desperate for balance. And the first step to finding that balance is understanding what's truly causing the disruption. The solution we must first address is perhaps the most counterintuitive, the one that feels like a betrayal of everything we've been taught about healthy eating. We must talk about the fruit that, while a gift from nature, can act as gasoline on the fire of polycystic ovary syndrome symptoms. We are talking about high glycemic fruits, and more specifically, the way we consume them. This includes fruits like mangoes, bananas, grapes, pineapples, and perhaps most deceptively, of all forms of dried fruit and all fruit juices. The shock comes from the fact that we see these as pure, as natural, as inherently good. But in the context of a body sensitized by polycystic ovary syndrome, their impact is anything but. The core issue with these specific fruits is their high concentration of sugar, which, even though it's natural, fructose, hits our bloodstream like a tidal wave. For a woman with polycystic ovary syndrome, this is where the chain reaction of suffering begins. This rapid influx of sugar demands a massive response from the pancreas, which releases a flood of insulin, the hormone responsible for unlocking our cells to let sugar in for energy. But here is the central problem of polycystic ovary syndrome. Our cells are often resistant to insulin. The locks are sticky. The insulin knocks, but the door doesn't open properly. This leaves two major problems. The sugar remains high in the bloodstream, and the excess insulin, now frustrated and with nowhere to go, circulates through the body. And where does that excess insulin wreak havoc? It travels directly to the ovaries, signaling them to produce an excess of androgens, like testosterone. This is the hormonal spike we're talking about. This single mechanism is what drives so many of the most painful symptoms: the cystic acne, the hirsutism, the disruption of ovulation. Can eating this fruit daily really help reduce your symptoms? No. In this case, eating these specific fruits, especially in the way we've been taught, is actively making the symptoms worse. That healthy morning smoothie packed with bananas and mangoes? It's a sugar bomb that is likely starting your day with a massive androgen-producing insulin spike. That natural snack of dates or raisins? It's a hyper-concentrated form of sugar that does the same. Buddhist wisdom teaches the principle of the middle way, a path of moderation that avoids extremes. A glass of fruit juice or a handful of dried fruit is an extreme concentration of sugar, far removed from the balance of eating a whole fruit with its fiber. The practical application here is not to fear all fruit, but to practice wise discernment. It means shifting your focus to low glycemic fruits, such as berries, strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries, which provide a much gentler stream of sugar that your body can handle. It means never drinking your fruit. Juice is a metabolic disaster for polycystic ovary syndrome. And it means if you do choose to eat a higher sugar fruit, you apply the wisdom of balance. Never eat it alone. Pair it with a source of healthy fat or protein, like a handful of almonds, a spoonful of chia seeds, or a scoop of unsweetened yogurt. This protein and fat acts like a chaperone, slowing down the sugar's entry into your bloodstream, preventing the spike, and thus protecting your hormones. This simple shift from mindless consumption of healthy foods to mindful balance is the first and most critical step. But that's just the beginning. Identifying the food is only the first layer. The next step, the one rooted deeply in monk-like wisdom, is even more powerful and often overlooked because it addresses the mindset with which we approach our plate. May I ask you something? How many times have you felt utterly alone, completely misunderstood, struggling to explain what's happening inside your body to people who just don't get it? How many times have you felt like you are screaming for help on the inside, but on the outside, you just smile and say you're fine, because it's too complicated and too painful to explain? I know how much that hurts, and I need you to hear this. You are not alone in this fight. This feeling of isolation is part of the collective pain of this condition. If you feel this, if you've ever felt that ache of being misunderstood on your health journey, I want you to leave a comment below right now saying, "I understand this struggle." Write exactly that. Your message, your acknowledgement, might be the very thing that gives strength to another woman who is reading the comments right now. A woman who is passing through this exact same dark valley and needs to know that she is not, in fact, alone. Your voice matters more than you know. Now let's move into that deeper wisdom. The second, and arguably more profound, solution is not a food, but a practice. It is the core Buddhist practice of sati, or mindfulness, specifically applied to eating. The problem isn't just the banana. The problem is eating the banana mindlessly, while scrolling on your phone, stressed from work, completely disconnected from the experience and its consequences. Monks do not just eat. They practice observing the entire process of nourishment. For us, this translates into transforming our relationship with food from one of fear and control to one of curiosity and communication. Mindful eating is the key to understanding your unique biology. The benefits are immediate and profound. When you eat mindfully, you slow down. You chew your food. You taste it. But most importantly, you create the space to listen to your body's feedback. You begin to build an internal data set. You eat a bowl of oatmeal, and instead of rushing off, you pause. How do you feel 30 minutes later? Are you energized, or are you already feeling that familiar, sleepy crash and a craving for more sugar? That is your body speaking to you. You eat an apple with almond butter. How does that feel? Sustained? Calm? This practice is a form of vipassana, or insight meditation, aimed directly at your metabolism. Does this mean you have to meditate for an hour before every meal? Absolutely not. It is far simpler and more integrated than that. The practical application begins with the simple act of pausing. Before you eat, take one conscious breath. Just one. Look at your food. Acknowledge it. Then, as you eat, try to put your fork down between bites. This simple act breaks the chain of automatic, unconscious eating. It forces you into the present moment. Notice the textures, the flavors. And after the meal, build the habit of a 2-minute check-in. Just sit quietly and notice the sensations in your body. This is how you reclaim your power. You are no longer a victim of confusing diet rules. You become your own primary health detective, your own guru. This mindfulness also allows you to investigate your cravings, or tanha, as it's known in Buddhism. A craving is not a moral failure. It is a biological signal, often a cry for help from a body on a blood sugar roller coaster. When a craving hits, instead of instantly reacting, the mindless path, or aggressively fighting it, the path of self-aggression, you simply observe it with curiosity. Ah, there is the craving. I feel it in my stomach. I feel it in my mind. It is strong. By simply observing it without judgment, you create a pause. And in that pause, you find your freedom. You may still choose to eat, but you do so consciously. And this practice, this compassionate self-investigation, is what ultimately heals the damaging cycle of binging and restricting, of guilt and shame. Before we continue, if this information is resonating with you, if it's helping you see your journey in a new light, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss any of our upcoming tips. This simple click helps us reach more women who need to hear this message. But mindfulness, as powerful as it is, can feel almost impossible when our foundation is shaking. It's hard to be mindful when your entire nervous system is screaming in a state of chronic stress. And this stress itself, as Buddhist wisdom has taught for millennia, is the second arrow of our suffering, and it is spiking our hormones just as much, if not more, than that fruit. The final and most foundational piece of this puzzle is learning to calm the mind to heal the body, a practice known as samatha, or concentration and tranquility. In Buddhist philosophy, there is the teaching of the second arrow. The first arrow is the physical reality of our pain. It is the polycystic ovary syndrome, the symptoms, the discomfort. This arrow is unavoidable. But the second arrow is the one we shoot at ourselves. It is our reaction to the pain. It is the stress, the anxiety, the self-blame, the catastrophic thinking. I'll never get better. My body is ruined. This second arrow, this mental and emotional reactivity, causes profound physical harm. Every time you spiral into stress about your symptoms, your adrenal glands flood your system with cortisol, the primary stress hormone. And cortisol is absolutely devastating for polycystic ovary syndrome. It directly worsens insulin resistance, making your cells even less receptive to insulin. It commands your body to store fat, particularly around the abdomen. It disrupts ovulation and further imbalances your sex hormones. You are, in effect, trapped in a chronic fight or flight response, and your body cannot possibly heal in that state. A body in fight or flight is focused on survival, not on delicate processes like digestion, detoxification, or hormonal balance. Are you saying that meditation can fix my hormones? What I am saying, and what ancient wisdom confirms, is that an agitated mind will disrupt your hormones, guaranteed. A calm, centered mind creates the necessary condition for healing to even begin. You cannot heal a body that is in a constant state of alarm. The solution is to intentionally cultivate the opposite state, rest and digest. The practical application is the simplest and most accessible tool humanity has ever known: the breath. The practice of anapanasati, or mindfulness of breathing, is the anchor. You don't need a special cushion or a silent room. All you need is 5 minutes. You simply sit and you bring your full, gentle attention to the sensation of your breath. Notice the air coming in. Notice it going out. Your mind will wander. It will drift to your to-do list, to your worries about your health, to a memory from yesterday. This is not a failure. This is what minds do. The practice is not about stopping the thoughts. It is about noticing that you have wandered, and then, with incredible kindness and compassion, gently guiding your attention back to the breath, again and again and again. Every time you do this, you are rewiring your brain. You are strengthening your pause muscle. You are teaching your nervous system, moment by moment, that you are safe. This simple act, practiced daily, lowers cortisol, improves insulin sensitivity, and creates the physiological space for your hormones to find their way back to balance. This is the ultimate middle way, a path of balance not just on your plate, but in your mind. If you made it this far, it means you are truly searching for answers, for relief, and for a sustainable path to hope. This channel was created exactly for that, to be a guiding light for you. It was designed to help you understand your body on a deeper level, to help you regain a sense of control, and to find solutions that actually work, solutions that nourish your whole being, not just your symptoms. You are not alone here. You are not just a collection of symptoms. We are consciously building a safe space, a community, where women just like you can find genuine support, compassionate understanding, and real information that makes a lasting difference. If this is the kind of guidance you've been looking for, if you are ready to move beyond the confusion and into a place of clarity and self-compassion, subscribe now and be sure to turn on the notifications. Every video we create is another step toward a healthier, more balanced, and happier you.